What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's daily rap video after a day of Reack content and of course Spider Pig at night. That's right, folks. And yesterday's streams were extremely boring. Your boy Duty actually had nothing else to do. He was chilling at home watching some football and decided to catch the React content, and actually got a couple nice little funny videos that I posted, but most of it of course was trash. That's right, nothing like watching Halloween style videos in November. But anyway, I digress. Support of course was abysmal. That's right, support just wasn't there for the React content, and of course Spider-Man barely limped by with I think 20 bucks. So yeah, our boy Phil is back to his normal low support streams, and I can't wait for Phil to lose his shit on the Dents. So let's see what Phil had to say on the daily rap. By the way, it was like 10 minutes long. I sped it up because, you know, you guys, 10 minutes of Phil was just a little bit too much.
Good evening, everyone. Phil here. Welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Sunday, the 5th of November, 2023. A catch-up day for sure, because today was the first day that I was doing a React show in 2 weeks, being that we missed out on DSP versus the internet last week because of my illness. And certainly I hadn't planned on having my illness so long that we did not have time to do a makeup session. We just had to do it a whole week later. So a fun day today on the podcast today. Some big discussions about the current state of each of the big 3 games that I'm playing right now, including Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Alan Wake 2, and my current thoughts on each. Interestingly enough, we seem to be equally through each of them. Like, each game is around, I would say, like 2/3 through, it seems. So I don't know how that pacing happened, especially with the time missed, but it just so happens that's how it's lining up. So, you know, good updated thoughts on that. The Adpocalypse nominations process is now open. I explained the situation on how you can do that because both people who are channel members and non-members can both nominate ads for me to watch during this upcoming Adpocalypse marathon event. That's going to be fun.
By the way, I must mention that of course after it's been 3 days since Phil decided to proclaim jihad against complaining about support, and he was taking control and no longer begging or telling the Dents how to support. That's right, folks, and we all know that that promise went to the wayside yesterday during the daily wrap. But of course, yesterday on the podcast, our boy Phil was talking about the playthroughs, and of course support did come up, and of course he used the subtle beg and the sneak begs and the terminology that Phil has been using, you know, other than basically saying, hey guys, you guys aren't supporting this or giving me money. So yeah, so Phil is trying to thread the needle and mention support without actually saying support. But of course, with Phil, everything is just completely obvious. All he really cares about is support. He does. That's his main focus at all. And by the way, I will give him some credit. He actually did not mention support yesterday on the React content. And we all know that React content just brings no cash and no views and no money whatsoever for Phil. So he did manage to compose himself. I was surprisingly shocked. And last night during Spider-Man, where he received I think 20 bucks, Phil also maintained his composure. But of course with Phil, we know that won't last. It'll just continue building up, especially being that the Dents will not continue supporting. They'll still keep giving him his 50 or 60 bucks in tips, a couple super chats, no memberships, and Phil will eventually fucking lose it on the Dents, and we'll get another beg apocalypse short video or video telling everyone about the emergency. And don't forget, folks, the 2 big bills are coming up, so we can hear the 2 big bills will be creeping into the discussion probably today or tomorrow on the podcast.
The other things discussed as well, you know, health updates and things like that. Of various different levels, and all day today still kind of have to still blow my nose, clear my throat. It's going to be for a while, because a lot of people are like, geez, you're still doing it, you know, you've been streaming all week, when's this going to go away? It's not. You know, this sickness was very bad, and even though I'm ignoring the symptoms essentially to stream, they're still there. I still have a tickle in my throat all day from, you know, gross yuckiness, and still got this stuff in my nostrils, and you know, it is what it is. It's going to go away slowly, right? So thank you to those who were here live today. I appreciate those kind of putting up with it. Same thing if you're watching the videos on demand. It's certainly not it's not ideal, but I'm pushing through it. So, on today's React show, over on DSP React, it was all about getting caught up and essentially the final taste of horror-themed Halloween content that was lingering from October. Like, a lot of nominations today were definitely horror themed for the finale, which was supposed to be last weekend. It actually wasn't that bad, and what I mean by that is we all were looking forward to the Halloween marathon, and we all felt like the Halloween marathon was going to be the big horror push and finale for the month, and then it didn't happen, right? So to actually have the DSP versus the internet stream today that was horror themed was actually fun for me, because it allowed me to have that final taste of horror before we now move into the holiday season. You know, now what's it going to be about? Well, American Thanksgiving, which is all about food, and then Black Friday, which is all about commercialism and shopping, and then Christmas. So that's a completely different 180 from Halloween. And I want to say thank you to everyone who was patient. I understand a lot of people were upset that I couldn't do the React show last week, but now we got our final taste of horror in there, and I'm sorry that we didn't do a makeup show. There was no way to do it. I lost so many days of work. There just wasn't time to organize a makeup React show, okay? So, it went well, and 2 of the videos are live. 4 will be going live over the course of the week, 1 a day, as usual on the channel. Of course, as usual, if you are a channel member, you are able to watch the videos right away, because the stream archive is live immediately.
By the way, this nonsense about he didn't have any time to do the marathon is lame. It's fucking lame. And I personally don't care about the marathon, because I really don't feel like spending 9 hours of my day watching that boring nonsense. So thank you, Phil. I appreciate for not doing that marathon. But you were hyping it up for almost a month and a half, and you were hoping that would garner tips, support, memberships, you know, as a way of thanking you for doing that marathon, and you didn't do it, which was pretty shitty. And you had people doing extra work for you, like Derich. That's right, Derich actually did a tier list. He probably spent like 1,000 hours working on that shit, even though it's probably crappy as all hell, but he still spent time to do it. And you just simply just said, well, I'm sick, I'm sorry, I can't do it. 672 was right. You are a lazy asshole. You are. And I know he came back and tried to clean it up like he was agreeing with you, but the sentiment is true. We all know that you're just a lazy asshole. And I think what ended up happening is you decided to cancel the Halloween stream because you saw that the Dents wailed out that first night that you came back. When you came back that night stream and you got about $260, you thought, oh shit, I'm going to get this for the next at least week. People are going to feel sorry for me. They're going to give me money, and I'm going to make even more than I would have if I would have done the Halloween marathon. Because when he does the marathons, the Dents shoot their wads, and then that's it. Then support dries up for like another week or 2. So you thought, oh man, I don't have to do the Halloween marathon. I don't have to buy food. I don't have to sit here for 9 hours and entertain these morons, and they're still going to give me money. So I'm going to cancel the Halloween marathon. That's what you did, and you know what? It failed. It failed like always, because what ended up happening is you got that initial support, and what happened the very next stream? It died up. It dried the fuck up, and it's been dry ever since. No one's been wailing out. You got that $100, that $120 stream, and other than that, you've been barely cracking $30 or $40 on your streams, Phil. Barely. And that it's gonna keep going on for the rest of the week. And memberships, that shit's gonna drop under the 300s. It's gonna be back to 380 soon. Unless it is now. I have a feeling it is, and you're just lying about the totals because you feel like you don't want the detractors to talk about it. Yeah, unless OIC comes and saves the day, you're pretty much screwed for that. So you end up taking a gamble, figuring you were gonna get whaled out you were gonna get whaled out, and you didn't have to do the marathon, and that didn't happen. You got one stream of good support, and it's just dried up. Nothing else. And you know what? It brings me joy when you allow your laziness to get the best of you, because you think that minimum effort equals maximum profit, and you just played yourself, Phil.
Interestingly enough, as I was uploading these videos, there's a new feature on YouTube. It is called Members Exclusive Premieres. What this is that basically you can upload videos, and those videos go live immediately for members only, and then they will go live at a future date per a schedule you set for everyone else. So you have the ability now to do an exclusive playthrough or an exclusive video series and have members see it first and have everyone else see it later. That is interesting. That was never possible before. It wasn't anything I even gave a lick of thought to. I think I will discuss this with my viewers tomorrow on the podcast and see what people have to say about it. If anyone has any feedback on that, if you think there's a use for it, or you never want to see that, I don't know. Maybe not for game playthroughs. Maybe it could be for some kind of React content or something like that. Maybe for members, my movie reviews go live a day early, and then they go live a day later for everyone else, right? So keep it like a members only thing. So now there's more incentive to be a member on the channel because you get to see my movie reviews and TV reviews first. I'm just saying. I gotta think about it. Let's talk about it tomorrow on the podcast, okay? So anyway, React show.
Okay, I love when Phil comes up with ideas for how to milk people out of their money. And he's essentially, what he's trying to do is he found a new way of possibly milking people out of memberships. Like, I don't mind memberships. Memberships are fine. I think memberships are perfectly fine. If that's something you want to do, you know, and you want to offer that, you know, for an extra monthly donation, that's perfectly fine. My problem is when if you're doing memberships, that should be above. You shouldn't take what you're currently doing now and carve it out. You shouldn't take a segment that you're. So right now he's reacting to movies. That's something that's part of the DSP React channel. It's something he's supposed to be doing, is content that he's supposed to be offering, right? He is now going to carve that out and make it a member only incentive, which I don't agree with. What you should do is do above and beyond. What you could do is you could do the react of your videos and maybe do an extra video. So do your normal react to your crappy videos and then do an extra one just for the members and let them see it first and then make it, you know, publish it later on. What you're trying to do, Phil, is you're trying to fucking you're trying to gatekeep that content and trying to kind of force people to, hey, if you really want to watch this, you need to become a member. And that's pretty shitty. But of course, Phil makes sure that, you know, he any idea to milk people out of their money, Phil is all about that. So yet he's going to carve out, yet another piece of content, just like he did with DSP Reacts. He essentially carved that out of DSP Gaming so that he can charge an extra membership fee to the Dents. That's what he did, and he's essentially double dipping. So now he's just trying to find a way to double dip yet again. Way to go, Phil.
Done. Halloween horror done. On to the holiday season. Awesome. On the late stream tonight, it was Spider-Man 2 continuing on, and we had fun. In fact, tonight, a lot of major story developments. We did at least 2 major story missions tonight starring Peter, which was cool because we got to see some advancement with Peter and now having the symbiote suit. It was cool because there was another major side plot line featuring the Flame, and he got to use the symbiote suit during the Flame mission, which is really neat because there was a boss fight that was made very easy because he had the symbiote suit. And I'm wondering if there would have been a way for me to trigger it before the symbiote suit and do it, like it would have been more challenging. I'm not sure. We also did a bunch of Kraven the Hunter bases that appeared on the map. We only have one more segment to do of those, but I kind of got bored of doing it, so I didn't want to do them all in one night. It was good stuff, and let me tell you, I like the symbiote suit a lot in this game. It's utilized well. The combat is very powerful. It's fun, and just during the course of the night, I unlocked multiple new abilities for the symbiote suit, which was awesome. And I had a good time with it. I did. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well if you were here live. If not, watch the videos on demand. 2 hours of content coming up tonight on the channel. So at the end of tonight, you know, looking at all the playthroughs, we're like 17, 18 plus hours into Alan Wake 2. We are now like 18 hours into Spider-Man 2. We're like 12 hours into Mario. And I'm like, dude, we are like 2/3 through all 3 of these games. And the challenge now is in the next 3 days to determine what to focus on, because we have new releases coming out starting Friday. We've got both Like a Dragon Gaiden and Modern Warfare 3. Do I jump into those on Friday? Do I hold off and try to push and finish some of the games that I'm 2/3 through first? It's a tough decision. It's something for us to talk about, not only on the podcast, but also on the streams moving forward for the next 3 days, so we can determine what we want to do and what games we want to play in what order. All right. Speaking of which, tomorrow is set. It's going to be Alan Wake 2 on the daytime stream, and we're going to continue on with the Alan Wake plotline. He's currently entering a movie theater. So supposedly he's supposed to now be going through movies that Tom Zane, one of the main characters of the first game, has written. It's going to be pretty interesting to see movies come to life, I think. So that should be fun on the first stream. And the late stream tomorrow night will be more Super Mario Brothers Wonder. We are in the midst of the 5th world. We're going to wrap up the 5th world and probably even head into the 6th. That seems to be the pacing we've been doing, is every 2 hours we wrap up like a whole world. So I assume we're probably going to keep that pacing moving. It should be a good day. Now, in addition to that, a couple other odds and ends. Number one, as long as we don't seem to be wrapped up with a bunch of other topics, tomorrow on the podcast, I will begin to look at that suggestions thread in which you all left suggestions over the last month. We'll start to go through them, see what you guys suggest, and see if there's stuff we can utilize for better content in the future, etc. We're not going to implement every suggestion. Probably not going to read if you want everyone, because there's probably trollish stuff in there too. I didn't really review it, but we'll look, and we're going to start doing that daily, so that way there'll be new content. I think that'll be pretty fun to have that kind of content discussed on the podcast. In addition,
Okay, yeah. I was wondering what happened with that because I know that I made a video and I offered suggestions to Phil on how to improve his streams and so on, which I'm pretty sure he didn't bother looking at. But I made some very good suggestions. I wasn't trolling, I was being nice, and I made some very concrete suggestions. And it looks like Phil didn't take any of that advice whatsoever, and I'm pretty sure he won't even bring it up. So that should be interesting. It's just going to be him reading comments off and basically saying, well, I can't do that because of this. Well, I can't do that because it costs money. Well, I can't do that because I'm a one-man show. Well, I can't. It's just going to be that nonstop. It's just going to be excuses over and over again. And then something that may require someone else to do work, he might be like, oh yeah, we can implement that. Definitely. That sounds like a great idea. It's gonna be utter garbage, and I can't wait to see it, to see what Phil has to do, Phil's gonna say, and how much work he's gonna delegate to the Dents. That's right, folks. Anyway, that's the video, folks. Check you guys out on the next one. Peace out.